everyone watching. I'll apologize right now. Fedora isn't exactly the best operating system, browser, or whatever. So, yeah, for whatever reason, the operating system wouldn't accept a lot of the on-screen recorders, so I'm doing this with my phone. I'll try to keep my hands steady. This is the GitHub repo agent under manager hierarchy. For those of you that can't see well like me, I'll just read some of it, but I'm not going to read the whole bloody thing. Agent under manager hierarchy. A lightweight, RAM-conscious multi-agent hierarchy built from smallest models that can reliably do each job. No model larger than it needs to be, no two models resident in memory at once, and no framework overhead beyond what's actually necessary. This project follows directly from the two earlier repos, low RAM raft RAG, a working RAG pipeline, and small verified dataset for grounding model output and real checked documentation. Low RAM Ollama configuration guide, real measured RAM saving Ollama settings on constrained hardware of 13 gigabyte RAM. No usable GPU offload. Everything built here inherits that same standard. No claim goes into the write-up without a real before-after test on real hardware. Those of you interested, let me see here. Well, this is all really important. It explains everything in the README, as you can see up above. This is just one project. I'll try to remember to edit the video after I'm done, and since I'm uploading from my phone, I'll, do that, and then later on I'll edit with my computer, but, adding all the links. The ones that led up to this, and by the way, it was basically me trying to do VS Code work with a very cheap paid subscription to the Copilot, and I was like, well, I'm pretty poor. Anyway, we can cut back on that $10. A lot of the AI are always recommending certain models. I got the best possible model, which for me was the Quencoder 2.5 instructional, let me see here, 14B parameters. I don't remember if I got it obliterated or not, but since we weren't doing security work, there was no need for the obliterated. I was just trying to find ways to lessen the load. If there's any of you that were reading, here, let me see here. Well, I'm jabbering my jaws, might as well have that if any of you are actually reading, but anyway. Yeah, let me see here. Y'all can just pause. Let's see your core idea, real experiment, grounded creativity. Pause and read if you want to. Agent roster, RAM strategy. Pause and read if you want to. And there's the knowledge base, success criteria, and status. Now, granted, I'm just saying that because I don't know about you, but I'm pretty lazy. You already have the information in front of you. You might want to read it. All I have so far on this repo is the README. But anyway, the ones that I did before, I don't know if you could see or not. Ollama Cove Pipeline. These are the ones leading up to it, because when I was doing that VS Code work and I did the Ollama model, I of course have one of the corporate models, which the best one I found, Gemini ain't all that great. Grok is kind of give or take, kind of good, but a lot of their free stuff has really been cranked down on. before you can ask too many questions. So, you know, we got Grok. I found Perplexity to be almost as good as Claude as far as helping up with writing things up and giving recommendations. Anyway, he did an audit, and Gemini was just always failing, so got away from that. I just try to be really good with my free time with Claude. Anyway, the Ollama Cove pipeline, and this is where it started. And I was saying, what can I do to improve on this stupid Ollama model? And finally, I just broke down. I said, you know what, brainstorming session. And then after we reached a certain point, and I started testing, and, you know, just in case I have a computer crash, I always back everything up on the GitHub. And I was like, you know what, I get free tools all the time from the internet. Time to give back to the community. I'll just put a donation link at the bottom or something and cross my fingers. I'll never be good enough to be a developer, nothing other than an enthusiast that gets lucky sometimes, you know, with help from the AI writing the stuff for me with my shaky hands, eyesight, and lack of experience. Just 3 years of studying a broad range of stuff, plus my first class was computer science in high school. So yeah, over 40 years spread out, kind of thin, but on a lot of stuff, so I can proofread their work when the AI messes up. Anyway, we got the low Ollama raft rag. That's the next one that got built. And then Ollama raft rag 2. So everything in order. Like I said, I'll put the links in the description, or try to remember. I don't know. Everything's a blur since the 60s, all them drugs I did and all that fun stuff. Anyway. Yeah, and you know, the last one that I think will be the acid test. I intentionally used models that just can get the job done, and then after I'm happy with where it's at, then we'll see how much with the testing that we had just done with all these other repos, how high we can elevate a model that is not in a place where it should be. So we'll of course have a database local and try to get the right kind of information to help it out. There's going to be some coding models that have a very narrow specialty, assuming we can find them. I mean, there's so many Ollama models out there. So a combination of very niche, like a specialist model that's not just coding, but a specialist in a certain kind of language, like Python, or if there even is one that specializes and has a better training for, say, functions. We'll just throw that up in the air, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's what we got here. And feel free to look it up and tell me what you think. I'm doing the best I can, considering my lack of skill and experience, but tell me what you think. Thanks for watching.